Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm the head coach for JobSearchCoachingHQ.com, a site where you'll find great content to help you find work more quickly, plus the ability to ask me questions and a community of people that you could also ask for advice. So I was on Stumble Upon and I stumbled into something that I thought was worthwhile sharing. And it comes from a site, I think it's, topresume.com. So I want to give them credit for this. And the article is entitled 13 of the Smartest Questions to Ask a Hiring Manager. Now, I think this is geared toward more senior professionals, but I'm going to curate some of this and adapt it a little bit just because in my experience, I've covered some of this material previously in other videos, but I just think some of it could be languaged a little bit differently. So here's some of the questions I think for you as a manager level and above that you'll find helpful when you're at the interview, at the end of the interview, and they say, "So, do you have any questions for us?" Now, one of the things I've always encouraged people to ask is, let's say it's a year from now, and I haven't. The first question is, give me a sense of what your expectations are over the first 30, 60, and 90 days. That's a pretty predictable question because one of the things that you're trying to do is to see how they want to get you up and running and what their expectations are during the first few months. Then I have another question that I ask, which is, let's say you hire me and it's a year from now. I haven't just done a good job, I've done a spectacular job. One of the best that you've ever seen, if not the best. What would I have accomplished during that first year that would cause you to think that way? So those are two of the questions that I encourage people to ask. Now here's some from topresume.com. What is the history of this position? I'll add to that, was there, once you start hearing the answer, how did my predecessor in this role, what did they do that was particularly good? Where did they come up short? It's a subtle question, but you want to hear what the good points were so you can replicate those, and what the bad points were so you can avoid doing what that person made mistakes with. Here's another one that I like. What about this position is important? How does it support management? I'll change the language to how does it support leadership and serve direct reports? I think it's a nice question because you always want to be in proximity to authority and power. So if you're down the line so far that what you're doing doesn't matter and they can't answer this question, that's real good for you to know. I'll skip over the next question because I covered it earlier. How would you measure my success and what could I do to exceed your expectations? Slightly different language than mine. I prefer mine, but I wanted you to hear that alternative. What part of the position has the steepest learning curve? Let me repeat that because I kind of stumbled there. Which part of the position has the steepest learning curve? What can someone do in order to get up to speed quickly? Nice question. Then there's, what are the expectations about managing workflow? After all, in a day when it's very common for firms to be operating 24/7, 365, do you have to yourself maintain coverage or just coordinate that? How is the feedback process structured here? Because you're going to live and die by that with managing your team, and you're also going to be affected by it as well. What opportunities will I have to learn and grow? And then they start asking questions of the manager about their circumstance, which can be clumsy. I'm going to give you their questions, and you draw your own conclusions, okay? What's the most challenging part of your job? What's your favorite part of it? How did you get your role? You're trying to find out whether they were hired from the outside or promoted internally. Do you have the tools and resources to do your job well? That one I feel awkward about. I would feel awkward about asking. You're basically asking someone who's trying to hire you whether they're inadequately prepared to do what they need to do. Do you feel that your opinions count? Like they're going to say no? Come on. And lastly, And this I cover elsewhere. Is there anything I've said that makes you doubt I'd be a great fit for the role? I cover that in a different video about questions that you could ask later on. Whether you use all these questions or not is your choice. I just think some of them are very smart for you at a manager level and above to ask in order to figure out whether this role makes sense for you. Hope you found this helpful. And again, the site is jobsearchcoachinghq.com. Come visit it, join. I look forward to helping you. Have a great day.